Did you think that Whoopi Goldberg will just move on from Elon Musk's obsession and focus on something else? Well, it looks like she just cannot help but make everything about him, including the recent news of Trump buying a Tesla car.
Thank you. And let me get into this sector. I'll watch Secret Service go crazy. Thank you.
I mean, if you actually drove it around, it
Oh,
would be
that's
well.
beautiful. Wow.
All of this began when President Donald Trump was seen purchasing a Tesla from Elon Musk, which has led many to call this an infomercial. Does she really expect taxpayers to listen to her? Most people are living paycheck to paycheck and can barely afford to put food on their tables. She definitely has no idea how this feels. What a complete disaster of a human. The level of
Their financial future. There was a fundraiser in front of the White House yesterday for the richest man in the world. And even Peter Doocy from Fox News chimed in about this infomercial for Tesla.
delusion and gross virtue signaling is staggering. It lost relevance years ago, and even then it was weak. Just because you're loud doesn't mean you're smart. This is just another multi-millionaire who loves to dictate to the common man how we should live and where our
I think Elon Musk believes he's president. I do.
Well, you've been calling him vice president.
I've called him vice president. I called him president because I don't know what JD is doing.
tax dollars should be used. She would still be there mouthing off because she loves hearing her own voice and blasting out her opinions for all and sundry. Why is anyone surprised she lies? That is her native tongue as a Democrat. Over Twitter, over his business moves, over his choice to stand up against woke agendas, and now she's throwing a fit because Trump bought a Tesla? Has this gone too far? Because it's becoming harder and harder to ignore this obsession. It's almost as if this has become the main topic of the entire show ever since President Trump went back to office.
And I said, I don't want to just say we're going to cut 50%. I want to cut the people that aren't doing the job, the people that aren't there, the people that are scamming the system. And he agrees with that 100%.
Now, many see this as Trump promoting American businesses and clean energy. However, to Whoopi, and as usual, it's something that she will immediately start mocking at the first chance she'll get. Now, take a look at this.
Yeah, and you know, all I could think of when I saw this were these TV commercials from when I was living in California. Take a look.
Here's Cal Worthington and his dog Spot.
If your lady's short of cash, go see Cal. Double over in a flash, go see Cal.
If other dealers you have cussed, here's a dealer you can trust. All you have to do is just go see Cal.
You know, everybody in town is advertising new 88 model cars and trucks. We're selling 89s, brand new 89s at the very same prices.
You know what they say, when in doubt, just make fun of it. As we have seen multiple times in our channel, this is exactly what seems to be the usual for this show. And Whoopi Goldberg is no exception. So many times they have no real arguments, so they just mock and belittle. Instead of discussing policies or economics, Whoopi turns everything into a joke. But notice how her jokes are always aimed at conservatives and people who refuse to conform to her ideology. Has this show ever mocked a Democrat or actions done by Democrats?
And then this music would start. And we sort of wrote some. So if it says, if you want to buy a Tesla, call Elon. You can buy one sitting on the White House lawn. The economy may crash, but it's Elon who needs cash. If you want to buy a Tesla, call Elon. Yeah.
Many active conservative critics express that when it comes to Trump, Whoopi suddenly becomes an economist. She says the economy may crash. But under Joe Biden, inflation was through the roof. Gas prices were skyrocketing, and everyday Americans were struggling to afford groceries. These issues were never criticized on the show. However, when it comes to Trump's or Elon Musk's actions, everything becomes a topic of criticism and mockery for the show hosts, even just buying a car.
Question is, why would he even think that voters would want to see him go to bat when the economy is being tanked by him?
And of course, her co-hosts just go along with it. Because when you're on The View, there's only one rule. If a conservative does something, you must hate it, even if it means attacking an American company like Tesla. even if it means ignoring the fact that Tesla has provided thousands of jobs, revolutionized technology, and put America at the forefront of electric vehicles. For reference, Whoopi was reminded of the iconic Cal Worthington car commercials from the 1980s that we mentioned previously.
If you want a better buy, go see Cal. You're the guy we satisfy, go see Cal. Give a new car to your wife, she will love you all her life. Go see Cal, go see Cal, go see Cal.
This incident is not surprising at all to the people who have been keeping up with what's going on between Whoopi Goldberg and Elon Musk. Whoopi has expressed on several occasions that she does not like Elon Musk ever since he took over Twitter and made it a free speech platform where people can express all their opinions no matter the target. She even quit Twitter in protest to this. Yet somehow she just can't stop talking about it on the show. After he reinstated conservative voices that were banned on X, Whoopi had an absolute meltdown on the show, and she went on a rant about how Musk was allowing dangerous people back onto the platform. These supposedly dangerous people are actually just the people that Whoopi disagrees with.
You're giving people information that they should not have because they're not the people whose information it is.
Yeah.
So, and nobody elected you.
Yeah,
That's the part.
Even further than that, Whoopi actually suggested that these policies at Twitter, which were literally just about letting people talk, were somehow a danger to democracy. Meanwhile, she has zero problem with the mainstream media constantly silencing conservative voices, including their show, The View. What is quite interesting about these recent events is that people are catching on to what is happening. If you open Twitter, I mean X, even liberals are starting to see how ridiculous this is. Every time Elon does something, Whoopi and her friends at The View can't stop making it the biggest problem in America today. At this point, it would make sense if Whoopi just admits it. She is indeed obsessed with Elon Musk. The real question is, why can't she leave him alone? Is it because he's a billionaire who doesn't pander to Hollywood elites? Is it because he exposes the messed up things about the left and woke culture? Or is it because, deep down, she thinks she has no actual arguments against him? One of Whoopi's comments that sparked criticism recently was how she and her co-hosts mocked Elon Musk's son on the show.
Musk took his son X to a press conference. I did not name the child. And I don't want to hear any more mess about our names, okay? Okay?
Oh.
Anywho, he took little X.
Funny. A little Instagram.
He doesn't own Instagram.
He doesn't own Instagram. He just took little X with him to a press conference.
This moment raised questions about the show's stance on respect and inclusivity, particularly as The View has often condemned public figures for personal attacks. Whoopi's comments quickly sparked reactions online, with some pointing out the irony of her statement. Critics argue that if similar remarks had been directed at the child of a celebrity favored by the mainstream media, think about it. A child of a Democrat celebrity or politician, the response would have been significantly different. Mocking a child who belongs to a leftist family would be something that you could never see on their show, and the public would be completely different. Although Elon Musk does not usually give this much attention, some rumors have been circulating recently claiming that Elon Musk is suing her and the show The View after Whoopi made fun of his son's name. I think it is funny that a person named Whoopi gets to make fun of someone else's name, but hey, who am I to say something about it? There hasn't been any kind of confirmation around the lawsuit, but I did make another video where we dive deeper into the possibilities, so make sure to check that one out if you want to know more about that. So what do you think of this recent news? Is Whoopi Goldberg really obsessed with Elon Musk, or this is just a passing phase? Let us know how you feel about this in the comments down below, and make sure you hit that notification bell so you won't miss any new updates, and I will see you in the next one.